ready? It's the Round Table with me, Robert Bannon.
So as a school teacher here in Detroit, Michigan, and also having this little platform here, it's such an honor to see people who inspire me to be kind, to be good to one another, and to overcome adversities. I tell my students all the time that they can do anything, no matter what people at home say, no matter what people in their lives say, no matter what other students say. And that's why a story like Ben Kjar's story is so important. I'm fascinated because Tanner, who you're going to see who directed this, is it a documentary? Is it a film? Is it his life? Is it real people, actors? Where they find these actors? So not only is Tanner here, but Ben is here. And listen, Ben goes around the world talking about the helping people. He's a keynote speaker everywhere. And we get him for free, folks. You're getting a piece of it for free right now. So Tanner, welcome to the show. Ben, it's such an honor to have you on the show.
Heck yeah, man. We are stoked to be here.
Look, absolutely. I'm scared of Ben because Ben could put me in, a German suplex and I'll be down for the count. So I got to be extra good to you because you are a wrestling champion.
Oh, man, you are the coolest. I tell you what, you and I would be really good tag team partners.
All right. Listen, when I'm scared, I'm tagging you in and I'm going to hide underneath the ring somewhere because I don't know if I'm the right. I don't know about that, Ben, but you are an inspiration. Tanner, you both grew up in the same town?
We did, man. We grew up, just a few blocks from each other. I knew Ben's older brother pretty well growing up, and of course everybody knew Ben. Everyone in that town knew who Ben Kjar was, and probably everybody felt like they were his best friend, because that's just the kind of guy that Ben is.
So Ben, tell us a little bit about you. You were born in Utah. And when did you find you loved wrestling?
Man, such good questions. I was born in Utah, 1983. The doctors would come to my family and say, hey, your boy's different and he's going to have a different life. And with no way to live a normal life, I had the opportunity to choose if I was going to live extraordinary, a not normal life. My mom would have these moments where it would be so hard because she would sit there and she'd have to tell me, Ben, you're different. People are going to notice that. So let's go make a difference. And I had the opportunity to sit aside, listen to what the doctor said, wrap me in bubble wrap and don't go do contact sports. Or, you know what? If we're going to choose to go out there, we're going to choose to live. And I was young watching my brother wrestle, and I just wanted to be a part of it. And I would watch him, not supposed to be wrestling, right? Because I just got done with surgeries previously. And I went out there, grabbed a couple of guys, wrapped them up like a pretzel, right? And I learned that wrestling was something that I could finally control, where Crouzon Syndrome wasn't. And I just wanted to be able to control something in my life, and wrestling gave that to me.
Ben, when your diagnosis and everything that you've gone through, how many surgeries, how many years has this been something that in and out of hospitals, doctors, it's been a road?
It has been such a road. I've spent a long time in hospitals, but my caretakers and my parents and my siblings are the ones that lifted me up spiritually, emotionally, physically. And man, I tell you what, it wasn't something I don't think anyone can prepare for. But guess what? You look at those moments and you look back, and the people around you buoying you up in the dark moments are the ones that just they're the life changers for you.
Absolutely. So, I know this from being stuck in the sixth grade over and over again every year as a teacher, that kids, Tanner and Ben, are not always nice. They are not always kind. And schools can be a very tough space for a lot of people. So, Tanner, how did you address Ben's life, and what respect and boundaries did you have put in place for you to tell this story that everyone that was involved felt comfortable to tell this in the most authentic way?
Man, that's a great question, and I know that's something that I think everybody at some point or another has dealt with, being on the outside, looking in, and having people treat you unkind, or maybe you've been on the other side of it and you treated someone else unkind. And I loved Ben's story because of the way that he grew, the way that he learned how to deal with people that didn't treat him the way that he deserved to be treated. We spent a lot of time, I think, before talking about how this should be, and talking with the people that we would be interviewing and would be helping us tell Ben's story. And I mean, we made a decision early on that luckily Ben and his family and everybody was okay. They were willing to go along with it. That was, we're not going to shy away from anything. We're going to tell what happened. We're not going to dwell on the negative, but we're going to not sugarcoat it either. We're going to show what happened, because we thought that was the most powerful way to show how Ben was able to overcome it and be an inspiration because of it.
Ooh, well, when I read the poster here, and it says he couldn't lead an ordinary life, so he leads an extraordinary life. I mean, that is the most inspiring and moving thing. I mean, I heard that and I was like, wow, that is the truth. Ben, when you heard Tanner, who you've known for X amount of decades, came to you and said they wanted to make a movie, what was the reaction about you being the focus in your story being a movie?
I tell you what, we've talked with other people before about doing something like this, maybe a documentary, maybe a movie. What does that look like? And when Tanner and TC and the group that came together and said, hey, we are looking to do something like this, I was like, oh my gosh, what an honor, because I've seen what they've done. I've seen what Tanner's been able to put together. I've seen his work. I've seen his integrity, and I've seen his intention. And working with him has just been such a blessing. It's been such a gift. And how he tells the hard stuff, and how he brings humor in the time of darkness too. You're going to see 99 minutes on the screen of what otherwise could be a boring documentary, and you're going to be able to feel feelings of anger and frustration and laughter and joy and hope and fear and maybe some judgment and maybe some, oh my gosh, how do they do that? And then it's going to bring you back. And the very end, you should have seen it when it was had the world premiere yesterday, my friend. Everyone was on their feet, and they gave Tanner a standing ovation, and they didn't want to sit back down. And that's when you know you hit home, when there's tears and joy and every feeling of emotion felt in your seat. I mean, that it's a life changer.
Well, that's thanks to both of you. His vision behind the camera, your story, and sharing your vulnerability and your journey. And together, if you don't know Tanner, everybody, I was telling him behind the scenes. Over the Christmas break, I watched the American Gladiator documentary on Netflix. Firstly, I think Ben could be an American Gladiator. Secondly, you all, Tanner, you told the story I never knew existed. And I was obsessed with, Nitro and Ice and all of the people and you found them and told the story. How do you find your inspiration for telling stories? How do you find your subjects?
Dude, well, I mean, I was lucky. I was a gun for hire on that one. Like, I didn't have to find it, but I am so glad they found me, because, man, like that, I grew up on the American Gladiator. I love the American Gladiators, so that was just a nostalgia trip for me. But anyway, yeah, so that was a super fun project. I've been lucky to have great mentors that have helped me in what I think is the hardest part of the filmmaking process, and that is picking out a good story. I think that really, if you can pick a good story, a lot of the other stuff really gets a lot easier,
Sure.
And
well, Tanner,
sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. Please. I'm sorry. I'm the rude host now. Tanner, what is this film? Is it a documentary? Is it a feature? Like, what is it? What are we going to see when we watch these 99 minutes?
I mean, I guess technically you'd say it's a doc feature, right? But I mean, we hope that it's it's easy to want to pigeonhole things, right? And be like, oh, it's a sports movie, or it's a documentary, and that has connotations with what that means, right? Man, we set out to make the most entertaining and inspiring film that we could make. And it's more than a sports movie. It's more than a documentary. We really believe in it, and we really think that it is a movie that can change people. That you watch Ben's story, and I don't know how you watch it and feel it, and you don't come out of there wanting to be better yourself.
I could only imagine. I could really only imagine. I'm excited. I have it queued up. I got a sneak peek, everybody, of it. I got it sent to me, and I'm going to tell you all about it because it's going to blow my mind, and I'll be a puddle, I am sure. Ben, when you speak in front of a lot of groups, in front of a lot of students, in front of a lot of business people, and I'm sure to talk about networking. And we live in such a mean, divisive world. Everyone is fighting. People are so mean to each other. What have you learned through all of your life? What is your lesson? What is your mantra? What do you go around and want people to understand more about people?
That's such a pivotal question, brother. That is literally the multi-billion-dollar question that gets to be answered. I feel like this documentary does that. It allows us to realize, my friends, that when people are having angry days, angry times, there's good people that have bad days. And guess what? It doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they're going through hard times and they react emotionally. There's times in this documentary where you see comments like that are just scathing in front of millions, tens of millions of viewers, how they basically just annihilate me verbally. And I have the opportunity to come back and annihilate them back, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, like you've heard. Do I do a punch for a punch, or do we have the opportunity to be the victor and not the victim? Do we have the opportunity to rise above and love and stand out? And that's what this is about. And it's about Standout. It's about the opportunity to know who you are first, and then being able to shine yourself to the world. It's hard to be kind to others when you can't be kind to yourself. There's a moment in the movie, and I won't go too much into it, but there's a pivotal moment in the movie. Robert, you're going to see it, where my mom stands next to me, and I felt like the only answer was to take off my face physically. As a young boy, that was the answer. If I could just have my face be gone, and my mom comes in and she speaks truth to my soul, and she allows me to see myself in a different light. And because of that, I was able to gain confidence. I was able to gain resilience. I was able to love me, and in turn, love other people, so that when that hatred or that pain came, that I could love instead of fight back.
Boy, Ben. Wow, Ben. That's a lesson for us all to find, forgiveness and peace, and human people are complicated people. Without carrying that anger around with you every day, is a lesson for all of us. Tanner, working, when I read the PR press release about the film, and I saw that, it's 30 plus years of knowing Ben and et cetera. What have you learned by working with him to tell the story? What humanity have you taken from his story with you?
Well, from the get-go with Ben, he was so positive and so, I mean, it has been such an inspiration, I think, to so many people, that I think the cynic in me, and I think in a lot of people, sometimes wonder, like, is that like for real? Is he like really this, or is this just like a way he copes or whatever? And like I think the thing that I've learned the most from him is just like his genuineness, his authenticity. Like, he is exactly who he is. I mean, when he's kind and loving to people, to him that don't deserve it, it's because that's who he is. That's the kind of person he is. And I mean, that was, I think, the biggest relief in making this film, and learning that he is genuinely this person, because it wasn't something, no, then we got to like somehow, fudge this movie and make this, just some kind of, alternative reality story of what it. No, this is a true story. This is what he went through, and this is how he truly is and truly responds to things and truly feels about other people. So, I mean, that just was so inspiring for me.
I'm crying already. I'm already done. I haven't even seen the film. Ben, but you don't look at yourself like a victim. You look at yourself like you're living life and you're good and you're such a happy like you have the most positive, beautiful energy and spirit about you, even though sometimes people have been so terrible to you.
Yeah, you know what? I used to think that that Crouzon syndrome was a curse, my friend. I used to think that Crouzon syndrome was a disease. I used to think that Crouzon syndrome was, you know, something bad in my life, and that world was happening to me and not for me. And I would look up at God. I'm like, come on, why me? But I tell you what, and the fact is that doesn't automatically change overnight, and it's not that that's not a daily battle. I think people think that you, let's remember, you don't go to the gym once and get muscles. You go to the mental gym, emotional gym every day. How many times we go to the gym and do repetitions, we're like, yeah, but what are we doing mentally to put repetitions in? And here's the answer to that. When you realize that the world is working for you, when you realize that your dark times are truly a blessing, when you realize it's not a curse but a gift, when you realize those things, I tell you what, brother, you and I are not on this call today. You and I are not speaking to the world where this goes today. You and I are not sharing feelings today. If I was born normally, if I was born without a facial difference, you and I are having this conversation the same. And so, what a gift it's been. It's a superpower. And the Crouzon syndrome is something I'd never change.
Ooh, see, and there's peace out of the broken pieces of when you think that there's hardships and days, and you find I felt that within my own. I have not been through what you've been through, but I find that I always say we'll look back and realize everything happened for a reason, and that there's so much good to come out of the things that are hard, and we have so many lessons to teach, and that's what you're doing. Tanner, how can we support the film? I know you guys are premiere. I know film festivals are out here. I know we could follow you and your film, the company, Tanner's Film Company. If I go like this, you'll be able to see it better. Let's see if I could. There's this whole standoutfilm.com. So you can check at standoutfilm.com. Ben's on Ben Kjar on Instagram. You can follow Ben Kjar's page as well. So how can we support the film and get a chance to support it and maybe see it?
Man, great question. So we are very early in our festival run. We're just starting, just world premiere literally yesterday. But we already know of a few more festivals that are coming up, and we have absolute 100% intention that this is going to be a theatrical release later this year, and I'm very confident that it's going to happen. And then, of course, we'll go through all the regular things, the video on demand and streaming and DVD and all that stuff. If people want to be aware of when that's happening, because we don't have exact dates to give yet, keep in touch with us on standoutfilm.com. And yeah, I mean, Ben is very active on social media. And he's not having somebody else manage it. You can reach out to him directly, I know, and he will be happy to talk to anyone in poor India. That's what he does every day, all day.
Well, I'm following. I just followed before this interview, and I was already ready for all the things that Ben is doing on social media. I need that dose of Ben every single day in my life. And we're going to follow Ben, and we're going to follow Tanner, and we're going to go to the link below so that we can stay up to date when this film is in your neck of the woods in a film festival, or when this film is coming around the country. Ben, how are you feeling? How do you do? What is your routine on a daily basis? We don't know much about what you go through. So how do you feel?
I feel incredible, man. I feel incredible. I'm 41 years old, and I feel like I'm a rookie in life, brother, with just a little bit of a track record. And bro, I'm telling you what, you spoke wisdom into my soul today. Let's talk about you. Are you kidding me? You find peace from broken pieces. Bro, that's a book right there. And I'm telling you what, when we decide that, when we move on that, Robert, you're a wise man. I mean, I'm just glad we're friends now. And when we take this in and of ourselves and become a vulnerable generation, vulnerable not meaning weak, but vulnerable meaning powerful, that's what we've done in this film. We've opened ourselves up and says, you know what? We ain't afraid of fear. We're fearful of not telling the raw story of what has happened and how we put ourselves back together. And just like you said, how we found peace from the broken pieces. Brother, every day as I share myself in vulnerability and power, I gain more and more fulfillment and focus and clarity in my life. And I hope that that is what people feel when they watch this, my friends. When you come out of the theater or wherever you're sitting on your couch watching this, my 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 prayer and my hope is that you get up knowing that you should never be anybody else's version 2.0, that you should never walk in the shadow of anybody else, but you should live you 100% genuine, like authentically you, with an incredible intention to shine and shine bright for yourself and other people.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to go out there and just rip through this day. Like we all are so grateful. We have so many beautiful, great things happening for us. I always say at the end of my show that life's about perspective and the best is always yet to come. We just keep on going and get better. When you said you were born in 83, I was born in 83. So come on, 41. We look good for 41, Ben. We're keeping it young for 41. You can't. Look at that. Come on, everybody. Tanner,
Dude, we're just starting. We're rookies of life, baby.
that's
Let's
it. I
go.
got a lot of years left to go. We got a lot to do. Let's go. As you said, ripping and running. So if you ever need a tag team partner, Ben, you just call me up and I'm ready. But I'm bringing a folding chair. Just letting you know.
Good. You bring the
Yeah.
folding chair, I'll bring the ladder. Let's roll, baby.
Let's go. And Tanner, we need a lot more work from you. You've done such a beautiful job. You do such great work. Your film studio and the work that you're doing, telling these stories is so important and needed in this world because you're giving us some entertainment with a lot of lessons. So kudos to you. I hope to see you all at, I don't know, get a documentary, get an Oscar, get an independent award, win all these film festivals. Let's go. The world is your oysters. The best is truly yet to come. We're following Ben. We're going to Tanner's website. We're going to stay up to date, and then everybody be on the lookout because the film Standout is coming. It's coming. It's coming from Film Festival to you, and then it'll be in theaters, streaming, or on video on demand wherever you are. So stay on the update. And it was a real honor to have you both here. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you both.
Oh man, thank you, Robert. It's seriously such a pleasure to meet you. We are so grateful for your time today, and your preparation and everything, man. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Robert,
all.
you're a gift, brother. You're an
Will
absolute
be.
gift. Keep shining your light, brother. Thank you, man.
Thank you.